Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Captain Logan Show. It's me, Captain Logan, and joining me, as always, is my son and chat moderator and co-host of whatever this show is, Jason.
It's the Jason Show. I mean, it's the Captain Logan Show.
Well, I don't see your name there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that?
I should get my own show.
Is that what you're vying for? You want to get your own show?
Mm-hmm.
How would the Jason Show even be different from this show?
It would probably just be music, honestly.
Oh, just the topic would be different.
Yeah, I think what I would talk about would be not something. I don't think it would get many views.
So if you did a show with, like, let's say a different chat moderator, because like I talk a lot, but let's say you did a show with somebody else that actually let you do most of the talking.
Yeah.
How differently paced would the show be?
I'm not sure how much like variety show it would be.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't even like. I think it would be a different thing probably, but I don't know.
Well, I don't know. We'll do a pilot.
Yeah, we'll do a pilot
at some point. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, thanks for being here if you're watching live. Thanks for watching after the fact as well. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Tonight's lead-in topic is the teaser trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is the first Star Wars movie theatrically in 7 years. Comes out next year. We live in topsy-turvy land where Star Wars has been primarily, or actually exclusively, a television property for almost a decade. It's just, or at least I should say the better part of a decade. And it's absolutely preposterous. And you know, we had this long period of time where Star Trek was only movies. And that was weird because Star Trek, of course, was primarily a TV property that had spin-off movies. And now it feels like that has happened to Star Wars, where it's kind of big news that there's finally going to be a Star Wars movie on the big screen again. And the first one we get is a spin-off of a TV show.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's just absolute topsy-turvy land.
But in contrast to the Star Trek movies, this just feels like more of that show.
Yeah. And that's what I'm going to get to a little bit later. Yeah. You're getting a little bit ahead of me. But yes, there is the big question I wanted to ask with this tonight is, does this even look big screen worthy? Does this look like it's worth leaving your house? And is the box office going to be much of anything for this movie, or are a lot of people just kind of going to wait for Disney Plus because it's an extension of a Disney Plus thing in the first place? Yeah. It's a thing that will be on Disney Plus not too long after it comes out. So far from what we've seen, it kind of just looks like more of the same. I'm not seeing anything immediately that looks like, oh, wow, I've got to leave my house to go see this.
Yeah.
And are people even really chomping at the bit for more of this show in any form at this point anyway? So
I have a question.
We'll talk about all of that.
We'll talk about all that when we get into it,
if you would like to help direct the conversation or leave us a topic or a question to talk about, you can leave a super chat, any dollar amount. That guarantees that we will chat about your topic. And we're going to do a somewhat shorter show tonight. My plan right now was an hour. Of course, sometimes we end up going, actually very often we end up going longer than that, and it turns into just a regular length show anyway. But my plan at the moment is just an hour, or not too long after that. Jason doesn't have an extra segment tonight. We're going to do a pretty short segment at the end, and I've got a lot of work to do this week for a writing meeting that I have on Friday, so I've got to scale my week back a little bit. So I won't be streaming tomorrow night either. But Austin and I, Friday night after my writers meeting, I want to put in a quick plug for this. We're going to be counting down, or I say counting down, we're going to be ranking the MCU movies up to this point. So Iron Man up through Fantastic Four, and just movies, just theatrical big screen movies. So none of the TV stuff, shows or specials. So just I think now, 37 features?
You know what's funny? I still haven't seen all of them. There's still a couple I missed.
Yeah, you've never seen Black Widow, I know that.
And I've never seen
Eternals, maybe? Or have you? Did you see that in the theater?
No, going back to it, I probably wouldn't like it. But I did like it in the theater. And I did see Shang-Chi. But I didn't see Black Widow. I haven't seen Love and Thunder. I didn't see Quantumania. Like a lot of those. and then
that's okay. Your brain thanks you for all of that.
And then I haven't seen all of Ragnarok.
Okay.
Because I fell asleep.
Oh, you know what? I remember that.
I went to the theater and I fell asleep.
And then you never finished it.
Yep.
Because I notoriously don't like that movie, so I've not gone out of my way to sit down and show it to you.
Right.
Certainly, Ryder says he's never seen the Marvels. Is that the only one you've missed, Ryder? Just the Marvels? But you've seen the majority of them.
Somehow I saw Wakanda Forever. I think you made me go to that.
Were you on the review for that? I don't even remember.
I think so, yeah.
Well, anyway, so we'll talk about the Mandalorian thing, and then we'll open up for questions, whatever you guys would like us to talk about. But I guess we'll do a Patreon question first, like we usually do. And quick plug for Patreon, just $2 tier lets you ask a question each month that we will guarantee we chat about on the program. In case you can't make it live or you don't like to do the super chat thing, we appreciate everybody that supports us in either of those ways, super chats or Patreon. It helps keep things moseying along here on the channel, lets me prioritize these shows, and we are 5 nights a week now. It's nuts, but we're streaming at least 2 hours most nights anyway, 2 hours or more on a nightly basis with different programming. So appreciate you guys for tuning in and just watching, but also anybody that supports us monetarily. That's amazing, and thank you guys so very much. And now it's time for a Patreon question. Go ahead, Jason.
All right.
I don't know what this was.
Oh, okay, great. Says, I didn't see Incredible Hulk 2 Brave New World. It looked boring.
It was. Your brain also thanks you for that.
Yeah.
Spoilers, that's not real high on my list right now. Now, I've done an MCU ranking video before, but it was years ago, and there's maybe even, I don't want to say double, but maybe close to double the content now since the last time we did that. Eric and I did it years ago when he was a regular on the channel.
I thought you did it with, maybe no. I thought
who?
you did it with DJ.
Maybe I did do it with DJ. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I thought that was a thing Eric and I did when he was the main co-host. But Ryder just put in $2 super chat and says Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four First Steps, delete one.
Fantastic Four First Steps.
I'll answer that real quick. See. So that's tougher for me than maybe it should be, because Thunderbolts is definitely the better movie overall, just as far as a story that holds together, and even probably a movie that I'd rather go back and rewatch. But I really do like the aesthetic in that initial world that Fantastic Four is setting up, and so I want that to exist. And I want them to do cool things with it later.
The thing is,
let's say all things are equal and we never do anything else with it, or whatever we do with it sucks, then yes, I would delete that.
I don't want to do anything else with Thunderbolts. I don't know if you agree with me, but I want to keep them in that movie and then not do anything with them again.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get your wish on that.
Well, yeah.
I'll get the gong out. I keep doing this where I'll forget the gong, and then I've got to reach over this TV to put gong. Anyway. Kevin Kuhn just put in a $10 super chat, and since it's related to the Mando thing, why don't we read that after we do the Patreon question, Jason, right. And then we can use that to segue into the Mandalorian teaser conversation. Did you watch it?
I did.
The teaser. Did you do your homework?
Yeah, I saw it a couple times.
It was short homework.
Yeah, there wasn't much to talk about with that, but there will be a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about. There's not a lot in the teaser,
yeah.
But there's a lot of speculation to do about just how that's going to go, and if anybody's going to care.
50 shots of Baby Yoda, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a shot of Sigourney Weaver also. But...
Yes. Yeah. All right. This Patreon question is.
Don't take a shot every time you see Baby Yoda in the teaser, though, or you'll die in 1 minute and 32 seconds.
Yes.
Anyway.
Our Patreon question tonight, or our opening Patreon question tonight, comes from Saqib Tariq.
Oh, thanks, Saqib.
And Saqib says,
good to hear from you, buddy.
What do you think is the worst ending to a franchise? Could be in film, TV, books, etc. Mine is Game of Thrones. Now, there are a lot. The first thing that comes to mind is Lost.
And yet, a lot of us went into that not really expecting it to stick the landing. At least that season kind of primed us for it's probably not going to be a satisfying conclusion. The worst ones for me are when everything seems to be kind of firing on all cylinders and then it drops the ball at the end. What am I going to say?
House of Cards?
Well, House of Cards is a horse of another color. So that one is interesting because it actually kind of has that in its way anyway, in common with Lost, where you didn't expect a good last episode because it turned into a completely different show by the last season. Not that Lost was a different show, but just that
yes,
I already had, but not in the way House of Cards was. Because House of Cards was suddenly about a completely different character. Because Kevin Spacey had been canceled and fired, and so now the show is about his wife, and she had been certainly an important character, and in places you could almost argue like nearly dual protagonist. But I mean, it was his show. It was about Frank Underwood, and then the show didn't have the guts to like kill him off, which is what it should have done. And so he's still around but in prison, and now she's taking and now she's the acting president, and it's her show for a season, and the quality didn't just dip, it jumped off a freaking bridge. So yes, that is one of the worst endings of anything ever, but it's a really horrible last season. A lot of people go to Dexter. That's a really bad last episode, and I would put it in my top 2 or 3 because yes, that show was not as good in the back half and had really waned in quality. It's been a long time since I've seen that. I remember season 8 not being quite as bad as maybe a season or 2 before, and I don't know if I'm right about that. It's just been too long. But what was weird about that last episode is I was totally with it until the last 10 minutes. And I went into that knowing everybody hated it, and I was like, what's the problem with it? And then I got to the last scene, and I was like, oh no! This is the worst!
Oh, wow.
My answer is not going to be television.
Yeah. Because I was trying to think of, like, other things. Because I also thought of Harry Potter. But that's another thing that kind of slowly goes down, especially the movies. But
now, that depends on who you are. Well, and a lot of people hate 7, or hate the last book, hate 7. I've never read it.
Yeah.
Because I lost interest before that. But, the Harry Potter movies are weird for me because I'm in the minority from a lot of people, and I've talked about this before, but like I like 5 better than anybody, and people think that it's blasphemy, and I'm like a horrible person for liking that movie. I think 6 is
Harry Potter 5.
Harry Potter 5.
Okay.
I know. Nobody's with me on this. I like that director better than a lot of people do, but I do think those last 2 movies are pretty rough. And but I actually dislike the first part of Deathly Hallows more than the second because it's boring as sin.
And then the second is just funny bad, I feel like. I couldn't stop laughing through the 7-part 2.
And I've talked about this before, but just the ways in which those movies are the second and third Matrix movies is bizarre. But anyway, I actually want to go to comics for this. I think the worst finale of anything I've ever read is Tom King's Batman.
Really?
And that's another place where, because I said, it's kind of worse when you get a real bad finale when everything leading up to it is decent, and I'm trying to think of a really good example of that. I guess the last episode of Voyager is really bad. I liked it, it was on, and like the more I watched it, the more I disliked it. Now, season 7 overall is not a good season, but it's also not a serialized season, so there's no good reason it shouldn't have had a good last episode. Like, there's 2 or 3 decent episodes in season 7. Like, it could have had, like, Author is in that season. Like, there's some good episodes.
Aren't they trying to put a bunch of, like, serialized ideas into one episode? Isn't that what that was? Or am I thinking of a different episode?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Because wasn't Voyager supposed to be more serialized? And then they ended up just taking a lot of those ideas and then putting it in one episode?
Do you just mean in the last season?
In the last, yeah.
What episode are we even talking about?
For Endgame.
But I mean, were you just saying that Endgame had ideas that were supposed to be stretched out through?
What
I've never heard that before.
Okay, maybe not.
You might be thinking of Year of Hell, which had that.
Okay.
Year of Hell was supposed to be an entire season of television that was bogged down, or that was boiled down into 2 episodes. But anyway, yeah, everybody went into Endgame thinking that was going to be a big, exciting event. and it should have been, and we brought back Alice Krieg as the Borg Queen and everything, and it was just built on a really, really faulty premise, and then you didn't even really get to see the crew get home, and then there's the kind of the or you didn't get to see them at home because we opened with them at home in a alternate timeline that didn't happen. There was a bunch of like morality issues with Janeway. I've actually talked about this recently because quick plug for this, but IDW has a miniseries going right now for Star Trek Voyager called Homecoming, and I loved the first issue. I thought it was actually quite spectacular, and the art's really good in it too. But the writer of that seems to, I think maybe it's two writers, they seem to like everything I like about that show and hate everything I hate about that show, and they're kind of fixing some stuff retroactively with the way Voyager gets home with that, which I really appreciate. But there was a lot of argument about whether it was even fitting that they would get home, or if the way you end that show shouldn't have been we're still explorers trying to get home, but it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
And if you were actually going to get them home at the end, it seems like we should have been more serialized in heading there. And if the studio wasn't going to, or if the it wasn't even a network, but if the, people at the top weren't going to allow us to tell more of a serialized narrative, and it was going to be basically just more TNG, but the premise is more Lost in Space, then you should have had a great last episode that wasn't really about getting home. That's an argument that I wasn't sure I bought into until I saw what they did with it. And more and more I've been kind of more in that camp. But anyway, the reason I go to Tom King's Batman is I've always had issues with his run, and I wasn't totally sure about it even from the beginning. And then at some point, rereading the first couple of arcs, I really came around on him and kind of learned to love it. And then, and I didn't even dislike War of Jokes and Riddles as much as a lot of people did. And then the first half of that, I actually think is solid enough. I don't like the redundant storytelling. I don't like how cutesy some of his dialogue gets. But I thought he had an interesting take on Batman, and I thought that, at least for a while, it seemed like a real kind of optimistic, hopeful take on Batman. And then after the so-called wedding issue, it all kind of went downhill from there. And so I lost interest, and I dropped off of it. Or at least I quit reading it. I think I might have even kept buying them. I can't remember. But I quit reading after the wedding thing ended up being just a gigantic sham. And they made a big deal out of, like, you've got to buy this wedding issue. They treat it like an album. And then, spoiler alert, they don't actually get married. And I don't know if that was, like, DC just not letting Tom King do what he wanted to do, or what exactly happened with that. I can't remember now. But it felt like they really did the readers dirty there. And then it got really rough after that, and I have kind of suppressed some of it at this point. But the reason, and so, like, the last arc of that, I remember being just incomprehensible nonsense, and I would barely even be able to call it storytelling. And then, and this is the reason I'm gonna give this, and then we'll get to Mandalorian. This is the reason I'm gonna give this to Tom King's Batman and not anything else, not TV, not the end of a movie series. Because, I mean, if we're talking about movie series, like, before Matrix 4, I could have gone to your Revolutions. Like, there's bad stuff, or there's low-hanging fruit, like 2 of the 3 Star Wars trilogies, I guess. Yeah. But with Tom King's Batman, you got the rotten cherry on top of that sundae, which was then Black Label's Batman Catwoman, which kind of reads like the actual end of that run. It's complicated because it's Black Label and sort of, I think, out of continuity. Not that everything Black Label is out of continuity, but I think it actually doesn't count, but it's like, all the stuff that happens in Tom King's Batman counts for Batman Catwoman, but I don't know if Batman Catwoman counts the other direction. But it's somehow worse than the ending of that book, and it's one of the worst miniseries I've ever read.
Wow.
It went from bad to, like, cynical and pissed me off.
Oh, no.
Like, it got offensive and not just bad. Like, the storytelling was also really, really awful, but then it just got, and like, the way it deals with Phantasm is just bizarre.
Okay.
Because they brought her in, and then they treated it like the events of Mask of the Phantasm happened, like, in comic continuity, and also, I mean, that's not even what's wrong with it. That was just weird. But then she was terrible, and yeah, that whole thing. It's been a while, but I remember just never wanting to read a comic book again after I read that. And this has been a few years now, so it's not fresh in my mind.
Going
but
back to
I think that's my answer.
And real quick, going back to Star Trek, I will have to give a shout out to Enterprise because that show ends.
Oh,
and then it doesn't, and then it has an episode, and then it's the worst thing you've ever seen.
I don't know why I went to Endgame. That is actually the worst finale of anything I've ever seen for television.
Because it had a finale, and then
and a decent one.
Yeah, and then they threw on an extra episode at the end that's horrible.
Yeah.
And, like, the worst finale.
Yeah, that's not even a send-off for Enterprise.
No,
it's just nostalgia bait for TNG fans, and it's not even good at that. And then it comes up with the most contrived way to kill a main character in a series for no reason I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about Star Trek too much, but I don't know why I don't know.
I'm gonna have to say Lost though.
I'm rusty. I just wasn't thinking about.
Oh yeah.
All of that. I was trying to go to other things besides Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
well, I didn't even think about Star Trek.
But yeah, These Are the Voyages is painful.
And the Star Trek movies end horribly. Like pre 09.
Oh, Nemesis is yeah. If you want to think of Nemesis as a finale, that's also really rough.
Yeah. All right, Mandalorian and Grogu.
So I'm excited about one thing: seeing Mandalorian on the big screen.
Yeah.
And that is surround sound getting that theme finally in a movie theater.
That's true.
Ba-da-da-ba-ba, ba-da-da-da-da-da.
It's a really good theme.
That will be cool, and that's one of my favorite themes of anything now. So I guess it'll be neat to do that. They could have just put the pilot in an episode or two out for like a Fathom event, and I might have gone to see that. But that's about it, just based on this teaser. Now, I'm hoping when they do a more full trailer and we get a little bit more of a sense of what the actual story is going to be about, there'll be some kind of plot point that's a little bit more enticing, and that you'll get that you'll get like footage of a scene that feels grand enough that it's worth getting in your car and going to the theater for it. So far, this ain't that. What little we're getting. And I'm not saying that I need them to give everything away right away. I am saying it really needs to not just look exactly like the Disney Plus show. I'm struggling to understand why I'm supposed to leave my house to go see this, except for the fact that they've just been awful at getting anything else off the ground and getting some kind of actual theatrical worthy Star Wars project going, because we've had all of these and a lot of them have been trilogies. We've had all these projects that have been announced and scrapped, and I think there maybe even still is supposed to be a Daisy Ridley thing, but I don't think you'll ever see that. But you had all these directors that were supposed to get whole trilogies, including Rian Johnson. I've never understood why you would even give him that after what. I mean, because I guess his movie performed okay, but then they didn't know how to recover from it. So it seems kind of weird that they would give him a trilogy, but it's a moot point now because then they axed that. And then Taika Waititi was supposed to have one. And anyway, so they've never been able to get anything else going. And now they finally get a movie in going to the theater, and it not only is just an extension of a TV show, it not only looks identical to that TV show so far, hopefully they'll show us something impressive later, but, and I guess I am glad that Favreau's directing it. Like there's more potential in it because it's Favreau, but then he's been so used to working TV for all this time.
Right.
But not only all of that, but then there's just the issue of, does anybody care anymore? The issue of, if you had put this out immediately after season 2, it would have had an audience, and there probably would have been people excited about it. So this was like a big cultural event for like a year. And they capitalized on it, in my mind, intelligently initially, because the first 2 seasons came out a year apart. You know, like a TV show.
Yes.
And then, after season 2, they saw how big of an event it was, and they got too big for their britches, and they went, well, now we gotta have the Mandalorian shared universe.
Yeah.
You're already Star Wars. You already have a shared universe, but they went, oh crap, we've got to spin off everything. We got to give Ahsoka a show, and we got to give Boba Fett a show, and we're going to sideline Mandalorian for these other things that are kind of risky and maybe people won't care about. And if they had been great, it might have worked out. But guess what? Nobody ultimately ended up caring, or at least not enough of them. I dropped off of Boba Fett after 2 episodes. Yeah. I was just bored to tears. Ahsoka just didn't... it just looked cheap to me. And so I never really tried it, and I didn't hear good things, so I didn't bother with it. And I've got no... interest or nostalgia in that character because I never liked Clone Wars.
Oh, I thought you liked that character.
She was cool enough in Mandalorian, but I wasn't sure that it was enough to warrant a whole show. And if I'd been really... Understand, if I'd been in a Boba Fett, I would have tried it. But Boba Fett I didn't care about, and then I heard boring things about Ahsoka, and I was like, I don't know, I got other things to do.
You don't really care about Star Wars anyway.
Well, that's the thing, is I'm such a casual Star Wars fan that it takes a bit to get me intrigued enough to go. If we had a movie on the big screen every 3 years, I'd go no matter what it was, probably. But even that's not true, because, well... Except this wasn't every 3 years. This was like 6 months after Last Jedi came out, if memory serves. But like, I didn't want to go to Solo, because that just didn't. That just looked like prequelitis to the max, and it was, and like a waste of my time. And I ended up going because I think a couple of the kids wanted to go, and so your mom and I ended up begrudgingly going. And it was better than it had any right to be, but it's still not very good. And then now we've got We've got a movie based on a show that people really gave up on even before season 3 came out. I think the hype was dead before 3 came out, pretty much. And I didn't remember. I don't remember there being hardly any fanfare around 3, and I didn't bother watching it. And then I started hearing from just a few people that actually did watch it about how huge of a step down it was.
Yeah, well, and I didn't. I was gonna ask how many people actually watched season 3, because I don't even remember.
Yeah, and I've not looked up numbers or anything if the numbers are available, but the sense I got just, from the cultural zeitgeist was people were kind of past it now and didn't really care. So, what's weird about this teaser, and then we'll get to that super chat because I forgot we need to read that. Yes. What's weird about this teaser is it feels like a nostalgia grab for a legacy movie about a series that's like 15 years old now. That's what it feels like. And it feels sort of cynical cash grab in, we've had exactly one character in one piece of Star Wars that sold any merchandise really in the last decade, and that's Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
And so we're so this is what it looks like. This isn't exactly accurate, but for the masses that are not paying attention to Star Wars, I'm telling you, this is what it's going to look like. Well, we got Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
I guess we can sell a bunch more, like toddler pajama sets and little figures and hats and stuffed animals. And they'll blow that totally out of proportion again.
Yeah.
You're going to have a whole Walmart aisle again of nothing but Grogu stuff.
And now no one's going to buy it.
Yeah.
That's what... That's going to be in clearance.
Yep.
For a while.
About a week after it comes out, because that stuff, again, it was this weird cultural moment, and we don't have, in the defense of that show, it is one of the few things that was a big property that kind of tied us all together for a minute, because we're so splintered culturally now that nobody watches the same stuff anymore. Like, you don't get a lot of Stranger Things and Game of Thrones anymore. Yeah. Like, a lot of stuff that is popular is still popular inside a subsects. Like, everything feels niche now. Mandalorian was like I'm gonna go this far. Baby Yoda was like a bat symbol or a Punisher symbol. People bought it and wore it that never watched that show. Yeah. Or maybe watched, like, an episode. Where it just became, like it was a fad. And I guess I'm saying I'm kind of impressed by how much of a fad that turned into.
Yeah.
But the problem is it was short-lived, and they were short-sighted about it, and so now they're making a movie based on a fad that is over. It would be like if you came back now and tried to make the fidget spinner movie. Like,
I was
nobody...
gonna say the Pogs movie.
Sure. Yeah, like nobody cares now.
Yeah.
And, so anyway, I guess the question is there any chance this does decent box office?
I think there is a chance. But a low chance. Like, I
based on what?
Well,
just the fact that we haven't had Star Wars in 7 years?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you are looking at a culture that's kind of Star Wars'd out.
That movie needs to not need, you need to not be able to, sorry. You need to not have seen anything before watching it. Like,
well, see, I don't even think that matters, because everybody knows what Mandalorian is. Right. So regardless of word of mouth and how accessible it might be, if people didn't bother paying even a month to watch Mandalorian on Disney Plus, why would they leave their house to go see? Like,
Season
if they
3
didn't care about
Book of Boba Fett, like, all of that stuff went into that, and no one watched that. So
and everything about how they're advertising this is screaming at you, it's back to basics, and it's exactly like Season 1, and you don't have to watch anything. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there being 3 seasons of that show is necessarily what's going to keep people from going to see that movie, Jason. I think it's just we've been there and done that. Like, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't with it at this point. I guess the point I'm trying to make is it's been too long. And that's weird because in the grand scheme, it hasn't been that long, but it feels like 10, 15 years. This is like putting out the Sin City sequel a decade after the first one. Like, we're done with it. Nobody cares anymore. So I guess what I'm arguing against what you said is the issue is oversaturation. Mm-hmm. It is not exactly how much you have to know going into it. It's that people got burnt out.
Right.
It's that the Mandalorian shared universe happened and it already fell apart. Nobody cares. Right. If you put out an Andor movie right now, there'd be a lot more interest in that.
Yeah.
And that is still somewhat niche, and I don't think it would do like big guns or anything, but I think, and I've not seen it yet, I'm more curious about it all the time. I just haven't sat down and started watching it. I do want to. But I think if you put an Andor movie out right now, it would almost certainly do better than Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I also think it looks more big screen worthy.
Yeah.
My worry with Mandalorian is we're going to go to that movie and walk out going, I mean, it's another episode of that show.
Sure.
Like, it needs to be a big enough story that it's, again, worthy of having a whole big screen movie, $100 million, whatever it's going to be, budget.
Well, and that's even a different reason why people won't go to see it. Like, no one cares, and also it's more of the same thing.
Yeah. So I think that's really going to hurt it.
Yeah.
Like I said, damned if you do and damned if you don't. On the one hand, if this trailer was really involved with a whole bunch of lore from that show and characters that if you didn't see season 2 or 3 you wouldn't know who they were, then you'd be right, and people would be like, well crap, I don't even know who any of this is. But they showed us just the iconic stuff that's real basic, and we've been there and done that already. And so it's so right now it's a problem going the other direction.
Well, and also
I don't know how you actually sell this now. I feel like this movie had to come out in 2020 or 2021.
The thing is, too, it's not only
Alex Barron says they didn't do an Andor movie. It's called Rogue One. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying if they did another movie starring that guy.
Yeah. The thing is,
I also am not even suggesting that that's a premise that makes sense for the big screen, because I realize how like involved and politically driven and real serialized episode that show is. But I'm just saying property wise, like if they wanted to make an Andor movie, now is the time for that. And we just finished the season 2 for that. You know what they didn't do? The Andor shared universe.
Yeah.
Where they end that. I'm assuming they didn't do this. I didn't watch it. I'm assuming they don't end Andor with setups for like 2 or 3 shows based on one episode characters.
Yeah. But not even, is it like, oh, everyone is burnt out with Mandalorian. It's also going back to things from the sequel trilogy. It's bringing back things from like Rise of Skywalker and crap. And I feel like that's even less people care about that stuff now than even the Mandalorian stuff. Because like they're bringing back a couple little characters from like the sequel trilogy. And who cares?
Yeah. Well, it's the same problem that I have with the Marvel Star Wars comics right now, where it's like they've completely lost the plot and they're totally out of touch, where they keep doing series based on characters from movies that are kind of hated and that everybody wants to get away from. And it's like I've been dogging on Marvel a lot lately, but it's like Star Wars at Marvel has the same problem that Marvel superhero comics do, which is they keep trying to push stuff on everybody that nobody cares about. And they're not listening to us when we don't give them our money and don't buy it. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's happening with Mandalorian, because in their minds, they're playing it safe. Like, this is Disney going to the one thing that they've had that sold real well. Andor's been real well received. I don't know what the viewership is on that. But, again, you had one huge cultural hit with Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're just too late on it. Mm. But could they turn it around depending on what the next trailer looks like? It's hard to say. That title, that font is curious.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that. That again, logo is goofy.
It's goofy. Heck. Yeah, it looks like everything about that thing looks like it should just go straight to Disney Plus, which is not what you want. Nope. If you want to try to get people to go to the movie theater, and that's the icing on the cake with that is that font at the end.
What is that logo?
So I think they're trying to make it look like 40s cereal throwback or something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And there's a poster, and I think it's real. I don't think it's a fan poster. There's a poster with that says this is the way on the bottom, and it tries to make it look like a movie poster from that era. And if they had edited the trailer to look like one of those movies, that would have made sense. But they edited it to look like a Disney Plus TV commercial.
Right. That would have made it look cooler.
Okay, well, I guess I'm putting that super chat at the end of this now, but what was he saying?
We've actually got a yeah, that's weird. Why is that? And that's the main poster.
Yeah. They didn't make a trailer to match that.
They should have. Oh, man, I love when trailers are just completely different than everything, all of the other marketing.
Omari Daniels, it's been years since Rise of Skywalker. Is the general audience even still interested in Star Wars on film anymore? No, it's an uphill battle at this point. it would be real difficult to reel people in, and I think you'd have to make something. I know I'm a broken record, but I think you'd have to make something that undeniably looks like a filmic kind of event
Yeah.
that you can't imagine like sitting at home and watching on your screen, which is a tall order these days because a lot of people don't mind watching even those kinds of movies on a small screen.
You gotta have bigger explosions.
Yeah, well, and it's also an uphill battle because everything goes to Disney Plus now anyway.
Right.
So like the only way you can get big Marvel movies to be successful on the big screen is if people can't wait the couple of months, which is all it takes now, before it goes to Disney Plus. I think, and I don't think we talk enough about that. I think that's part of what's been hurting Marvel lately, is just there's not a sense of you kind of have to create the FOMO. You got to make people feel like they don't want people to spoil all the cool stuff that happens in the movie.
Yeah.
While they're waiting their 2 months for it to come out, 2-3 months for it to come out on video, and they could just watch it on Disney Plus. I think that's even harder with Star Wars now. Because like, what's going to be the big twist or the big thing that happens in this movie that you're going to feel bad if you weren't there to see it and somebody spoiled it for you later?
Yeah.
You know, like, what exactly is that? Think of the Marvel movies in Phase 4 and 5 that have actually performed at the box office. They've been the big... Well, it's been two things. Primarily, it's been the big gimmicky, nostalgia bait throwback stuff where you want to get there and see who shows up, right? Are the other Spider-Mans from the other franchises going to show up in No Way Home? And what are the villains from those movies going to be like? Who are the cameos going to be in Deadpool? Who are the cameos going to be in Doctor Strange? And then beyond that, it's just Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Because people were invested in those characters, and they know those movies look good.
Yeah.
And they want it. So some of it is people want to see them big, and some of it is, again, just, I don't know if I want to wait 3 months to find out what Rocket's story is.
Yeah.
You know, and for Superman, with Gunn's new DCU, and I realize that there's a lot of argument back and forth about whether that movie actually made money, but the reason it made $600 million, whether that's, I don't want to get in arguments with people about this, whether that actually broke even or not is debatable. I think it must have at least broken even. It's debatable. Gunn seems happy with that take. But the reason it did as well as it did is because people, well, first of all, the people that saw it first weekend, it was, this is brand new and it feels, in starting a new universe, and it feels like an event, and maybe DC characters are back. And then, and because Superman has been on an upswing again. Like, we've had kind of a renaissance for Superman, and people are starting to really care about that character again. And then after that, it was just good word of mouth, and it sounded like a fun event that would be more fun if you went to a movie theater to see it. The last thing Star Wars needs is to have a big screen. So I was going somewhere with all of this. Is to have a big screen entry. First time in 7 years, it just feels like more of what they've been trying to shove down your throat with like 16 different TV projects over the last 7 years. It's been oversaturated. There's been plenty of Star Wars. It just hasn't been in a movie theater. And most people just haven't cared. It passed the second season of Mandalorian. Okay, what are people saying in the comments?
Amari Daniels, it's been years since Rise of Skywalker. Is the general audience even still interested in Star Wars on film anymore?
I read that one. I
answered
that. Yep.
You just did. That's what we were talking about.
That's what we were talking about. But there were super chats.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know if that's what you meant, but what are people talking about? All right. 10 Canadian dollars from the Captain Coon. If I had a nickel for every time a new Star Wars movie came out 7 years after the last one, with nothing but TV shows between, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice.
It's weird it's happened twice. That's true. There is one other instance of, and this is interesting. There's one other instance of a TV-related, how can I put this where it's not too convoluted? A TV-related Star Wars project that goes to the big screen and falls on its face. Now, we'll see if this falls on its face, or if it does well. But the Clone Wars TV show had a movie pilot.
Yes.
That went to the big screen and was critically panned. And people did not pay money to go see them.
I think that's what he's talking about.
So that's not, I think it is too. And that's not a spin-off. That's kind of backwards, where that happens and then a TV show comes from that. And it's interesting that TV show was so well liked because that movie wasn't. And like that introduces Ahsoka and all of that. But it is interesting that we'll have now had 2 movies about something they intended to be on TV.
Yeah. And going after that, we have another super chat.
Yeah.
This is a $5 super chat from Joel Davis. The live-action Lilo and Stitch and Moana 2 were meant to be Disney Plus stories, but they became theatrical and made a whole lot of money.
Yeah, the difference is Star Wars is spectacle.
Yeah.
Right? And I can't really explain why those 2 things did as well as they did in the theater. It might have been people desperate for something cool to take their kids to. Mm-hmm. Like, it's hard to say. I didn't expect Lilo and Stitch to do anything.
Especially since that apparently sucked.
Yeah, I didn't hear good things. So it is surprising to me that performed, and I can't really explain that. So, like, fair enough. And again, I don't know how this is going to do. I'm kind of just basing this on what little advertisement we have so far. Again, it is weird to put something on the big screen that looks this much like it was intended for Disney Plus when we know for sure it wasn't. Like, this was made to be the big return of Star Wars on the big screen, and I'm like, that's what you got? Really? Yeah. Like, nothing looks horrible, but it doesn't look big screen spectacle.
Yeah, I agree.
And the other difference is, yes, we've been saturated with live action remakes with Disney, but if it's your favorite individual property and it looks good, you're not going to go, well, we've already had Lion King and Mulan and Beauty and the Beast, and so I don't care. If it's your favorite one and you think now, you might be burn out because most of those things have been bad, but if you're, I hate to say it, like gullible, and you think there's a chance that this time it'll be good, maybe you'll go. Again, I can't really explain that. Mm-hmm. But with Star Wars, I feel like you've got your diehard fan base that's going to go just because it's finally in the theater again. That will maybe give it enough of a boost that it's going to do better than I'm thinking it might. But I feel like the general public is going to go, well, we've had this all this time, and we've been there and done that and seen that already. Like what's the point in going again? Mm-hmm. And going to pay money to see it on the big screen? Like, I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to just repeat myself and spin my wheels with this.
Yeah.
But Mandalorian is a TV show first, and I just kind of think that hurts it.
Yeah.
Unless this felt like I'm going to say this earlier. Unless this felt like a big culmination of something, and it doesn't, right? If you got to the end of season 2 and it was a gigantic cliffhanger, and you had to go to the theater to see it, mm-hmm. that would be a horse of a different color. But the show feels played out. There's no mystery here.
Right.
Now, maybe they can drum up one, but right now it just looks like more adventures with Mandalorian and Grogu. It isn't like, finally we're going to get all those answers we've been waiting to finally see about. Like, maybe they'll do it, but we're not getting any sense of that yet. And that could just be strategy, mm-hmm. with not wanting to show us too much at the start and just trying to sell it on what made that popular in the first place. I think that's a mistake. But my instincts tell me that this is going to be a pretty inconsequential story.
Yeah, I agree.
Could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
But that's what my instincts tell me.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, people are talking about how,
I'm with you, Austin. He says AI young Luke is 100% going to be in this movie. I think so too.
The thing is, with Lilo and Stitch, Stitch is a lot like Baby Yoda in just like merch and everything, and I think that was a lot of why that movie did that well.
And there hadn't been anything with that property since the original came out. Maybe it had a cartoon show.
Right. And I think it has... I don't actually remember when season 3 came out. But it
23 was 2 years ago.
Okay. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your point?
So, but I was wondering if it was longer ago than I was thinking, but I'm saying maybe that translates to this with like Baby Yoda, but
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy had a weird interview where she was like, this will do well because The Mandalorian is now a bunch of kids' childhoods. And I don't know... Like, it's been 5-6 years since it started.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the one hand, you could say, well, there's kids that grew up with it, and now that they're a little bit older, it'll be, like, cool and nostalgic, and they'll want to go see that. But also, am I wrong about this? Like, they're used to seeing it on Disney Plus. If it doesn't look big screen worthy. But also... I feel like you would have wanted to get them when they were still 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Like, in one way, it's been too long, and in another way, it hasn't been long enough. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you waited 10 years, now you could bank on nostalgia, maybe.
Right.
Waiting as long as you did, it's too long to strike while the iron is hot, but it's too early to make it about how long it's been since you've seen these characters.
Yeah.
Also, I should mention that Favreau wrote a season 4. Like, all the episodes, scripts were in the can. And then after the big Hollywood strikes in, what was that, like 21, 22, Kathleen Kennedy and Disney pivoted and decided to make it a movie instead. Mm-hmm. And so another concern I have is that whatever he was going to do in 4 is probably just truncated down to this, which means it either could be, and I don't think this will be the case, it either could be too much material for a movie, because it's like a whole season dwindled down to a movie, but those tended to be pretty episodic with what felt like a lot of fill-in episodes, right? Or it's going to feel like a TV plot instead of like a big exciting story.
Yeah. And
that's not to say that, of course, just generally you have to have a huge event or a big earth-shattering kind of story for it to be worth going to a movie theater. I'm just grading this on the curve of Star Wars.
Right.
I mean, like, for Star Wars, you kind of want that unless it's... unless you were introducing us to something that was, like, slight, but... you... Like weird and alien, and you needed a movie budget in order to present it to an audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people gave Mandalorian a lot of credit for looking as theatrical as it did on Disney Plus.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
think that adds to the problem.
Like, I don't want to be disingenuous and say, like, oh, this just looks like a cheap TV show. Like, The Mandalorian didn't look like a cheap TV show. But the problem is, I still think there's a bit of a difference between, especially as it went along, that show on the small screen and a big Star Wars movie. Or at least there should be. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm spinning my wheels. Do we have any other Super Chats?
We do have another Super Chat. It's not about this.
Yeah, that's fine. We can go ahead and get off of this.
Yeah.
And then hear it a little bit. We'll read other comments about this if people want to
Yeah, I mean, I do have a couple other comments.
Why don't we answer those first? Then we'll get to that super chat. Then we'll do our closing segment.
Yeah. Alex Barron, going from Andor to this will be some whiplash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not for me, because I have not seen it yet, although I might watch it before this comes out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and we're going to find out that this was made with, like, $600 million. And it's like, you're not going to see it. Like...
You think it'll be made on like, a TV budget?
No, I'm saying it'll be made on a huge movie budget.
And... Oh, did you say 600 million?
Yeah.
No, it won't be like that. I'll be surprised if this budget exceeds 100.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to have a giant all-star cast. Like, they're paying Sigourney Weaver and they're paying Pedro Pascal. And I wonder if Pascal is even in the helmet through a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because he's so busy. Like, they very easily could have just had him voice a lot of it. Or, also, I mean, just voice it and not actually be on set much. But I don't know how they're doing that.
I'm not sure how much they did with that for Mandalorian. I don't actually know that. If they had him in the suit for Mandalorian. For the show.
Yeah, they did.
Did they really? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Stussy, my brother was in elementary school when Mandalorian came out and loved it. Now he doesn't care.
Oh, people are arguing in the comments. Sometimes I'll read a comment and I'll think that somebody's fighting me on a thing and I want to respond to it. And then I'm like, oh no, they're fighting somebody else.
Yeah.
Amazing Fantasy 63. I got excited when Luke showed up in the season 2 finale, but nothing's been done with it as Cap's been since as Cap's been saying it's been too long and the ship has sailed. Yeah, that's why. So if they finally do something with all of that, then maybe that can turn the box office around a little bit, like, or at least the fan base might be a little bit more interested. But I also think it's too late. And then my worry is it'll be a nothing burger. Where it's like, yeah, he'll be there, but it'll more just be because they established him and people are expecting that, so they'll come up with an excuse to do it, but it won't be for any exciting story reasons.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how much he was in, like, Season 3 and Boba Fett and stuff. Because I know he is in Boba Fett.
Yeah, I don't know what they do with him.
I don't know what they do with him.
I'm not, like, raring to watch all of that because this is coming out.
Yeah.
I
just don't want to see deep fake Luke.
Even though I think they'll do deep fake Luke, like Austin's saying, I also think it's very likely that this whole thing watches like just an extended season 2 episode.
Yeah.
Or even season 1 episode. Or it's possible that it's paced real slow, and then you get to some kind of earth-shattering like relatively earth-shattering revelation in the third act that'll just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't even know I was watching this for the first hour and a half, and now we're finally gonna find out, more about Baby Yoda and finally do something major with him being, this important MacGuffin. And then what would be hilarious is if they did what I predicted back when season 1 came out, which is suddenly have him rapidly age to like a middle-aged Yoda or like a teenaged Yoda.
Oh yeah.
And do it in the movie?
Yeah. Make it like Baby Groot.
Yeah. Do it like midway through? Because I always thought that's where it was going. I always thought you'd find out that for a bunch of decades, whatever that race is called, the Yodas, are... Because I'm assuming we still don't have a race name for them. I don't know. Because we've been treating it like... And I haven't seen 2 in forever, but like we treated it like a big mystery as to why there was even, this other Yoda. But what I thought they were going to do is say they just have a really, really long childhood or adolescence, and then suddenly they're adults. And so it isn't that they age really slowly, it's that they're kids for decades, and then all of a sudden you turn around and now they're an adult. Mm-hmm. And then they never did that. And I still say it's possible that was the plan.
Yeah.
And then they went,
we didn't thought about it.
We didn't expect everybody to buy stuffed animals.
Yeah.
this ended up being this huge juggernaut. Do you remember how for the longest time there wasn't any Baby Yoda merchandise? And it was weird how long it took them to finally put that out. And then when they did, it was freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I always knew it was going to be weird to live in a world post it being called anything but Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Do you remember all the merchandise said The Child?
Mm-hmm, the child. I don't remember. Is it season 2 that it's like, oh yeah, it's Grogu? Because
it's in 2.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was a show that like aired weekly or if that was a show that was like, it was all.
I think they dropped it all at once on us, at least in the first season. That was when they were still kind of doing the Netflix model. No, I'm wrong. They did air that week to week because they did the same thing with the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Austin, have Yoda grow a mullet and wear a leather jacket.
What?
Okay, what was the other super chat that's not related to?
It's from Ryder. It's a $2 super chat.
Yeah.
Ryder says, "Did you guys watch K-pop Demon Hunters?" No,
I don't know what that
never will.
What is it?
Okay, I think. Okay, so it's. Here's the thing: people are saying that it might count for Superhero Rewind.
Oh.
So.
Is it a movie?
Yeah, it's an animated movie that looks like the worst thing ever.
Oh, good. Good.
Just like by your standards, it's basically just a bunch of like anime, like demon hunters that sing K-pop songs. That's all I know about it. And there's a song about soda. That's all I know about it.
Weird. Why would it be, if they're demon hunters, why would it count as a superhero?
Apparently there's like superpowers and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know.
There are things with characters with superpowers that I wouldn't consider superhero though.
Yeah.
It would just depend on the presentation.
I think it really depends. I know people were talking about that.
Is it anime though?
No, it's like a 3D animated movie.
Okay, but did we make it here? Is it English language?
That's what I don't know.
Because if it's not English language, then it wouldn't.
Then it doesn't count at all.
Yeah, so it wouldn't matter. Ryder says it's really good.
Yeah, everyone says it's really good. It's not for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I won't watch it because it's not for me.
But this is all a moot point if it's not English language.
Right.
I'm just saying if it's a Japanese thing, then it doesn't.
It's a Korean thing, but
okay. Well, then it's still not going to count for Rewind.
You know. Yeah.
And anyway, yeah, I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah.
Yes, Stussy, I've always counted Buffy as a superhero. It is a little. That one's dicier than some other things, but I've always considered.
Oh, it's subtitled. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like I knew anything about it besides there's a song about soda.
No, I'm just saying I'm not sure why he brought it up, knowing that I don't do non-English language things for Rewind. The question was, does it count for Rewind?
No, that wasn't. They were talking about that during the Superhero Rewind.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I got confused for a second. So you were just asking me if I'd heard of it. Is that what you're saying?
If we had seen it.
If we'd said okay. Anyway, awesome. My vote is on it not counting. It doesn't matter what your vote is. It just doesn't. All right, let's go ahead and go to our last segment for the evening. Last call for super chats if you guys want us to talk about anything else after this. Jason wanted to do rants tonight.
Yeah.
And Jason, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go second.
You'll go second?
Yeah.
Okay, my rant, I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about, and I went, this is how cynical I've gotten. I went, when you log into Google and you go to the search bar, very often you get a bunch of curated articles underneath it based on your search history and things that you tend to look at news about, right? And so mine is almost always a bunch of like comic book stuff, superhero movie stuff, all of that. And I went, I can't think of a good rant. I'm going to go to the Google homepage and see if the very first thing that comes up pisses me off.
Was it?
It did.
Oh, was it? What was it?
I'm going to show you.
Okay.
So I got this article from Bounding into Comics. Marvel Zombie showrunner says Disney Plus series. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this
Huh?
up. I'm not kidding. This is the first thing that came up. Marvel Zombie showrunner says Disney Plus series intentionally avoids references, homages to original comics because, of course, it does. It does. And why do these showrunners and writers always have to say this so proudly too? Sometimes this comes from the top, and I think it actually always comes from the top. But it's mutual often enough that it also wouldn't matter a lot of the time, because you'll get these writers that come in and they go, we don't actually really, again, it's a lot like Marvel Comics right now. We don't actually care about this material, we don't care about the lore, we just want to come in and do our own thing and make whatever points we want to make, or have whatever ideas we want to throw in a thing, and use this as an excuse to get to do that, right? And there's been a lot of there's been a lot of reporting on Feige and the producers at Marvel telling, especially on the Disney Plus side, but even the movies, I think some, telling people not to really look at the material.
Really?
And and that just drives me insane. And I hate how little reverence we have now for the actual source material.
Yeah.
And as I've always said, it doesn't have to be exactly like the comics. It's just when all of this started, it felt like they appreciated their roots and they weren't so entitled and like arrogant about it. And now it's like, no, we did this. We're the reason that these movies have made billions of dollars. And it's like, yeah, to some degree, but you got to give some credit to the people that made the stories in the first place. And if you want us to ignore them to the point where you won't even look at the material that you're ostensibly adapting, then I guarantee your stories are going to be weaker, and they have been.
I wonder why the What If episode sucked. Like,
yeah, and this guy in this article makes a big deal out of all of the references that in that one episode they did to the book. Like, look, we've been there and done that already, okay? Like, we already had homages. We already showed you a few shots from the book. Story-wise, it had nothing to do with the book. But he's like, well, no, we did, like, little token, mentions of it. But we're going our own way. We want to do our own thing. The only thing...
But I want to see it adapted, like...
Yeah, so really, you're telling me that... I don't know. This is going to be a somewhat unfair way to put this, but I'm going to say it like this anyway. You're telling me you know better than Robert frickin' Kirkman.
Mm-hmm.
If you just flat out... You got 4 episodes. You take that original miniseries, and you just do what Kirkman did, adapted to the small screen with animation, and you're telling me that whatever this ends up being is more interesting and enticing to an audience or to you. Like, give me a break. And that's why I say it feels kind of entitled. We're doing our own thing. And I'm like...
Yeah. But you can even, like, do that storyline, but with some of the modern MCU characters. And just, like,
that's
throw
my
those
point.
in instead.
The only leg he's got to stand on is when he says in this article... This is the only thing I kind of agreed with, is when he said, MCU is a different starting point and different lore. So it's not gonna look exactly the same anyway. And I'm like, yeah, but you could at least start from the same basic premise and look at some of the like grander ideas in that book. And the What If episode didn't do that. So I would be really shocked if the series did that. But like, I doubt very seriously if it's going to be any of the same kind of meta commentary about the ways in which the Marvel superheroes, like, over time stop resembling themselves and become zombies. Mm-hmm. That's part of what that book was about. And I doubt very seriously, just based on the trailer, and there's some fun action and stuff in that trailer, but it looks real surface. It looks like that's all it is. I doubt very seriously if it's focused on the zombies trying to retain their humanity, which was what was cool about Marvel Zombies. It looks like it's just generic superheroes versus zombie affair. Or sorry, fair. And what made Marvel Zombies unique was, at least that initial story, was focusing on the zombies themselves.
Yeah.
So there's a review that came up from Tech Radar, because this is about to come out. I think maybe it starts today.
Oh, wow. You're going to watch it now that you know that?
Now that I know what.
That they're not even looking at the comics and they're doing their own thing?
So, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could have told you that, but it ticks me off to read it.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not surprised.
Right.
Look, I needed a rant, okay? And,
well, yeah, no, I'm just saying now that you know that they are so arrogant about that. And that...
Tom Power, what a cool name. If that's his actual name, how do you get graced with such a cool name? From Tech Radar, Tom Power. I watched all 4 episodes of Marvel Zombies on Disney Plus, and I wish it had more brains to go with its hyper-violent brawn. And then he says this, so... I'm not going to read the entire review. This is just sort of like his consensus, like his boiling it down to a couple sentences. Marvel Zombies will go down as another missed opportunity in the comic book Titans animated universe. When it gets things right, it's terrifically terrifying, gloriously gruesome. Oh, can you stop it with the alliteration? And sumptuously somber. However, its story, like the undead that inhabit this MCU adjacent universe, though, rots from the inside out, leading to a TV series that's occasionally good, rarely great, and increasingly irritating to watch.
Can you write like that in your rewinds and like can you talk like that?
Dude, shoot me dead and hope I don't come back as a zombie if I ever write like that.
Oh man, welcome to the Tom Power Show.
Apart from the alliteration, just the general sensibility of that is about what I would have figured. Yeah. That's about what I would figure my review would likely be, because that's exactly what If was like.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's my rant.
Yeah.
I didn't even really read much of this article, but I told you what was in it. So, Jason, what do you want to rant about, sir?
All right. So mine is I don't know, kind of geeky. I don't know. It's not one of those like, world problems. Is You
didn't go to Google and go, what's gonna piss me off?
No. I was thinking about this. So I don't mean to call anyone out. All right.
Oh,
if
man.
anyone
It's a rant.
actually does this, but
It's a rant. Do it. Call them out.
So I don't get.
And they lost 16 subscribers that day.
Oh man.
That fateful day.
Dun. I don't get why companies put out these t-shirts and sweatshirts that have album covers and band logos like their brand names. I don't get, and like obviously I wear a lot of like music shirts and stuff.
Yeah, you're saying that while
That's
you're
cool.
wearing a Pink Floyd shirt.
I'm wearing a Pink Floyd shirt. Right.
But you're wearing that because you like that band.
So yeah, that's the thing. Okay. I saw this
so you're saying
the other day.
It's like Adidas or something.
Right. And if you walk around and just like, if you walk into a Target, I guarantee you will see at least 1 or 2 middle school or high school girls who are wearing these like Nirvana in utero on their like sweatshirt, and I just like I want to see them actually listen to that album, because there's no way they like that. Yeah. I'm just imagining like one of these like teenage girls listening to like Setless Apprentice, and like.
Well, for a lot of them, I don't even think this is what your parents were into, because we're like 2 generations past now.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it's both, like, 90s alternative because they want to look all emo and stuff, but also, like, classic rock. because I don't know. I guess it looks cool.
The weirdest one I keep seeing is Def Leppard.
Yeah, Def Leppard.
That's all over Walmart right now. And,
Yeah.
like, in the girls section,
So-
there's, like, pink Def Leppard
That's
shirts.
what. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I step on you?
Yeah, you did.
Sorry.
A couple weeks ago, I saw this that was like, I think it was the pink Def Leppard shirt. I'm like, who is this for? Like, this is the most like Taylor Swift looking, like pop looking thing, and it's Def Leppard, and no one who is actually like, okay, I have a Rolling Stones shirt, right? I'm not a huge Rolling Stones fan, but one, I got it as a present, okay, and two, I've listened to the Rolling Stones, and I have an opinion on the Rolling Stones.
You know what you're wearing.
Yeah. So...
So you're saying that these logos have also become Batman and Punisher.
Yeah. And, like, the thing is, with, like, Batman and Punisher, everyone's seen a Batman movie. At least. You know?
And, like, Punisher's in a weird category now because of all the controversies surrounding that symbol and with, like, you know, police and stuff. So, like, forget that. I mean more like 10 years ago, the way people were wearing the Punisher symbol.
Yeah. Anyone who's wearing an in utero shirt, who, like, one of those, like, pink in utero shirts.
Yeah.
It's like, because I've seen those too, and it's weird. Where it just looks like a brand name or, like, some cool art. They would not be able to name a single Nirvana song. There is no way. You know, like...
So why do you think they're buying it? Like,
it looks cool.
Why is this turned into a fad?
I have no idea.
But just looking cool wouldn't be enough. They would have to think it's in right now.
Because it is, but I don't know how it got in.
How did it get in?
Yeah.
It's weird. I want to see if we can manipulate this for other things. You know, see if we can get a bunch of teenage girls to start wearing, like, Munsters shirts.
Yeah.
You know, or Addams Family, or something like
Well,
that. Well,
at
that's
this point-
different because of Wednesday.
Yeah. But yeah, but the thing is...
Bear in the Big Blue House. Bananas in pajamas.
But the thing is,
That's a real cool shirt you got there, Bear!
I'm one of those people who I will look around and I'll be like, oh, you're wearing... Dude, I saw another person wearing a Death Note shirt today. It's crazy. I've been seeing Death Note shirts around a lot.
I think with that, it's more likely that people are actually watching it.
Yes.
Because the anime is just really in with your generation.
I walk around and
You're talking about on campus?
Yeah. I walk around and I see...
So Jason's taking college coursework now. He homeschools, and then he is supplementing. Now that he's a sophomore, he can do this. He's taking several credit hours, different classes at a JUCO.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that so people knew what you were talking about. So it's not even, I say your generation, but it's mostly people probably 5-6 years older than you.
No.
No?
It's my age. Mostly even.
Even on campus?
On campus, I don't see this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you meant on campus because you told me about, like, geeky shirts people were wearing.
Yeah, but this is what I'm getting at. I walk around and I see what people are wearing, and I'm like, oh, cool.
You're
into
actually into that thing. Yeah.
But people,
Like
I
like
know.
We saw a guy. We went there for a play on Sunday. I went and
Yeah.
saw a play with Jason on campus, and this is a school I used to go to 20 years ago. And we saw a guy with a Space Channel 5 shirt.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He must have known what that was.
Yes. But people I know that clown on music from the 90s and no, even the 70s and wear Pink Floyd, Def Leppard, Nirvana, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that is completely different. Like, that is the complete opposite of what you're saying. Why are you wearing that?
So you know the asshole thing I want to do?
Yeah.
I want to walk up behind somebody wearing a shirt like that.
And put on headphones.
Start playing on my phone
Yeah.
the album they've got the shirt for and see how long it takes for them to get annoyed and ask you to turn it off, not knowing what it is.
Just someone wearing an in utero shirt. Away! Go away!
No, don't play the most annoying song on the album.
Yeah.
You know, and like we've had this conversation on the channel several times before. I never want to be a prude about things and be like, you have to have a certain amount of knowledge to call yourself a fan of a thing.
That's not even what I'm saying.
And I mean, like, it's weird. I'll just make this point real quick.
Yeah.
Just to explain myself. It's weird to pretend like you're an expert with something you don't know.
Yes.
I think it's fine to go, look, I've read like 2 comics so far, or I saw this 1 movie, but I just can't get this character out of my mind, and I'm kind of obsessed with it right now, and I bought the t-shirt. Mm-hmm. And so I really like it. I want to be a fan of it. I think I'm already a fan of it. I don't even know very much yet. That's very different from acting like you know everything. Yeah. But all of that is even much different from you don't even like the thing, but you're wearing it anyway just to look trendy. Mm-hmm. And in the words of The Offspring, I'm not trendy, asshole.
Yeah. Wow. Language.
Yeah, I know, sorry. I was quoting.
Okay. John is right, though. More people should be forced to listen to In Utero.
Yeah, well, Austin's not going to agree with that. But...
No. Because doesn't Austin hate Nirvana?
He does. I like that album, but I don't like the song that you were singing. That's the one. That's the one bit I don't like.
Okay, here's the thing. I think that song is okay. It's the second song.
It's so annoying.
Like, it doesn't work because it's the second song.
Austin says, I know women who are obsessed with Bear in the Big Blue House and have tattoos of that guy you just did the impression of. Wow. I've been immortalized on that lady's arm, Bear. That's amazing. That's a really good rant, man.
Yeah, thanks.
So, do you go out wearing your Pink Floyd shirt, and then you meet other people that would have that exact same shirt and go, you don't know what this is? But I do. And again, I don't think that makes you a prude where you're like, I'm a bigger fan than you. It's just, you should at least like the thing you're wearing.
Well, and the thing is,
can I go this far? Mm-hmm. I think it's even respectable to wear the thing because it's your dad or your mom's favorite band, and it's maybe not your favorite thing, but like they passed it down to you, or you have a little bit of nostalgia for it. But you at least
still have to have listened to it.
But you've listened to it. You know what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is you still have to at least have
some sort of personal connection.
Yeah.
Austin, look, I'm made out of ink now, Bear. I want to think that Austin's the only person in the audience that even knows what we're doing, because I thought there would be 0 people that would know what I was doing.
But the thing is, I'm not even saying, oh,
you just lost 16 subscribers, Bear.
But I'm not even the Bear Show.
The Captain Bear Show, Bear.
Oh man, Bear Evolution.
It's like the most annoying voice in the world.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not even gonna like walk up to people and be like, "Oh man, you don't even look like you know that band," because like I don't know, people can, I'm not doing this based on looks or anything.
Yeah.
But people I know do this, and people that I have seen wear other shirts.
Then it's harder.
Then
it's harder not to say something.
Yeah. People who I have seen one day wear a like Taylor Swift shirt and the next day wear freaking Metallica. That doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. So
well, and I hate to say this, but I feel like a lot of the people that would do that are also people that listen to things because they're trendy too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, would they naturally... And this gets a little chicken and the egg and almost nature-nurture, but it's like, would you naturally have a predilection toward the thing you're listening to if it wasn't the big popular thing everybody else is into? Mm-hmm. Or did you condition yourself, like you're drinking something with an acquired taste to love this thing because you think you're supposed to?
Yeah.
I feel like those are the kinds of people, the kinds of people that stop paying attention to a song because it's 5 minutes old, now it's too old. Mm-hmm. I feel like those are more of the kinds of people that would wear trendy shirts like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, and it's like,
But I also don't think this is new.
No.
Now, doing it with classic rock bands like this is weird. That's new. But I think the like early 2000s, late 90s Hot Topic era, I bet there were people wearing certain bands because it was trendy that didn't necessarily know the band. But the difference is they were new bands. But I bet that was happening.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Tell me if you guys agree with that.
I still don't like it because...
Well, yeah.
Well,
so you don't even know what you're supporting.
You don't know... Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, that's weird.
Because I'm just imagining...
Like you said, it's not a brand. It's not like going around with a Taco Bell shirt.
Well,
it's like maybe you like Taco Bell, you're wearing a Taco Bell shirt.
It's weird. Like, it gets even weirder when you start, like, wearing, like, System of a Down. And you've never heard System of a Down. You know? Because it's like, maybe you don't even agree with what they're singing about. Or like,
it would be weird. Yeah, it would be
maybe you don't even
weird
agree with what Rage Against the Machine is singing about. Like,
yeah, especially if you're talking about a really political band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine you're wearing a Rage Against the Machine shirt, and then you listen to that band, and you go, "Oh, I don't even like their politics."
Right.
It's like, well, you realize that everybody that's seen you wear that shirt is going to make an assumption about you now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I would maybe wear a Rage Against the Machine shirt, but I like that band. So, like, even regardless of whether I lined up with the politics, if somebody asked me about it, I could be like, I mean, it's a band I like. I bought a vinyl record of this band. Like, I like them.
Yeah.
You know
I don't know if I would wear a Rage Against the Machine shirt just because I don't even care that I if I agree with the politics at all. I just don't want to wear anything that's that political.
That's fair, because that one in particular is like exists to make a political point.
Right.
They just happen to also have really good music.
I'll wear a System of a Down shirt.
Yeah.
They make political
music. They have
music,
really political music.
But they are into political band.
Your mind won't necessarily go to the politics before the music.
Right. Right.
You know, like, if you wear an Interrupter shirt, you're making a statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, if anybody knows what the Interrupters is and you're wearing that shirt, it's like, well, you wouldn't be wearing that if you weren't a libertarian. Right. Like, that's what that is. It's libertarian music for libertarians.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I digress. Everybody, thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again with more geeky stuff here on Geekvolution. I'm going to take tomorrow night off. Sorry for... to the requesters for putting that off another week, but I've got way too much to do for this Friday show, and I need to get some sleep somewhere. So I'm gonna take tomorrow night off. But Friday night we're gonna do the new MCU ranking. Austin and I'm excited about that. And we'll be back to Superhero Rewind commentary project next week. So taking a week off from that. But next Friday we'll be back with that. And we're doing Dread, which is a wonderful movie that I've not seen in a long time. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. And you can answer that real quick if you want to, Jason. Nicholas Bodo just put in a question.
Yeah, what are some awesome concerts you have gone to? For me, it's when you went... For me, it's when I went to go see Godspeed You Black Emperor at downtown Hamilton 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
Me neither.
You've not seen much.
I haven't seen much. I also have... I think
Jason's 15 and there's stuff he wants to go to that he just can't get into
I think it's
yet.
just we have a big family. It's hard to get out of the house.
That's part of it.
But I would... Honestly, there are some things that if it was cheap enough, I'm just going to pay and go see, because you know what I mean.
Go on your own.
Like at some point, I still want to see an Offspring concert. I still want to see.
I've done that.
I still want to see Evanescence.
Yeah, me too. I would like to see Evanescence, certainly.
There are lots of things, but
yep.
Yeah.
I've been to lots of things. I've been to like 10 They Might Be Giant shows. We've talked about that. I've seen Weird Al 4 times. I've been to. I don't want to name off everything, but like I've been to a lot of classic rock shows. I've been to Heart. I've been to Styx.
I can't do that now.
Yeah,
because they're all.
that's rough. I think at this point my favorite show was probably Peter Frampton, who I've seen twice, and that second show was even better.
Yeah.
It was funny because that was supposed to be his farewell tour, and then he said psych, and he came back and he did another one.
Mm-hmm.
Although you and I did see Fight for Fighting. earlier this year.
Did.
And that was a wonderful show.
That was great.
That's kind of a special artist for me and my wife. We listened to him a lot when we were dating, so that was a big deal.
We did see a classic rock band together. I don't remember what it was.
Yes.
It was.
Were you at the Yes show?
I wasn't at the Yes show. It was.
Doobie Brothers. You've
Doobie
been
Brothers,
to?
yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like
I've seen them twice.
Wasn't CCR Doobie Brothers? Yes. That was probably the best concert I've been to. It was really good. I really liked it.
Yeah, that's always a good show.
Yes.
Oh, and you went to see something
Yellow.
with your mom. You saw Yellow.
I did see Yellow.
And that was his last tour.
Mm-hmm. Jefflin, yeah.
So that one I missed.
Yeah.
I let you go because you guys had to go to St. Louis and I had to stay back with the kids. So I let you go see that one.
That was also really good.
No, I'm
that
sure.
That was a really good light show.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
They are the Electric Light Orchestra, Jason.
Yeah. It's mostly just Jeff Flynn.
Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again real soon. I was Captain Logan, and this was Jason. Bye, folks.
I wanna take you for a ride.